Cowboys at Browns. That is going to be week 1 of the 2024 NFL schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our reaction and especially Tom Brady's jab at Dak Prescott. Let's get to it. Here we go. What is up, everyone, and welcome into A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime, streaming with you live Sunday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and catching up with you guys in between with quick hitting videos Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And sometimes we get to react to news like today's because, man, the Cowboys, we already know who they're going to play in week 1. The rest of the schedule is not going to be out until Wednesday when the NFL announces the whole 18-week season, 17 games per team. But the Cowboys are going to be traveling to Cleveland to start the season. Now, poor Browns, man, because they were overshadowed by the Cowboys because they're America's team. And, you know, everyone is always talking about Dallas. But they were also overshadowed by Tom Brady. The reason why is that Brady is going to be in the booth calling the game between Cowboys and Browns. More specifically, working the booth as a caller analyst, not play-by-play calling, but rather it's going to be his first game as an analyst for Fox. That is major news for obvious reasons, and I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit exciting. Let me know in the chat if this moves the needle for you in terms of excitement for the game. Like, are you excited or not excited at all about hearing Tom Brady in the booth? Now, I'll let you know what my answer is in a second. But before I do, let me play you the clip of the announcement so we can also talk about the jab to Dak Prescott. But I'll tell you why I actually kind of like the whole Tom Brady storyline in just a little bit, even though it might be a little bit personal. But hey, we'll get to it. First, here is Tom Brady talking about the game and taking a jab at Dak Prescott and also the Cowboys. Here we go. Volume might be a little bit low. You're warned. Be in the alert.
The NFL on Fox opens with the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be your first game. And also another thing, week 1 is back to being an exclusive doubleheader window for Fox. So how do you like that news? You get to the Cowboys first week.
Amazing. Obviously, having the Cowboys on is a huge draw. As America's team, that's going to get a little hard for me to say that all the time. I understand they were the competition for a long time. But in this new role, I know the Cowboys, how important they are to this network. They got great storylines. Come on, Dak Prescott. Let's see if he can finally come through. One of the great defensive players. Did that just slip out? Micah Parsons, what a great player he is. And Coach McCarthy. So I love covering them. I've been obviously going against them for a long time, and now I get to tell everyone how great they are.
Oh, I already like what you're doing, man. I already like it.
Man, let's give it to Tom Brady in this respect, right? He's already a certified broadcaster. If he's pulling off those like little jabs at the most popular team in the NFL, he's already creating some drama. He knows what he's going to do, right? Every website out there is going to have an article talking about how Tom Brady took that playful, or maybe not that playful jab at Dak Prescott, however you look at it, and also the Cowboys. Several things to note here. Number one, he's actually kind of right? I'm a Dak Prescott guy. Somebody that defends Dak as one of the best QBs in the league. I think that he was second-team All-Pro and front-runner for MVP for a very valid reason, and that's that he was balling out. But it's also true that we have yet to see Dak Prescott really light it up in the postseason. And it is true that it is one of the biggest storylines entering the 2024 NFL season. Regardless of how we feel about the contract situation, regardless of whether or not we are of the opinion that the Cowboys should extend Dak before the season begins, it is still one of the biggest storylines within the Cowboys. And that is going to be Dak Prescott's like story until he proves otherwise, right? The fact that he needs to do something else in the playoffs. And this is not me saying that he's a bad quarterback or anything like that. It just really does like need to happen in order for Dak to change that story. And that is fine and fair in my opinion, especially after a rough game versus Green Bay when they were supposed to win it, quote unquote, easily since they were at home. They were playing a young, inexperienced team in Green Bay, blah, blah, blah. So I do think Tom Brady is kind of right. I actually think he didn't mean it as a big-time jab or anything like that. But then the crowd laughed and he kind of made the most out of it, which you got to respect from a showman perspective. You got to give credit to Tom Brady for taking that chance and using it. And then, man, I kind of appreciate also the showmanship in being like, and I get to tell everybody how great they are, right? Because Brady historically dominated the Cowboys when he was a player in the NFL. So he can get to say that. Now, I'll say this. I am excited about Brady calling games. I'm going to look at your comments and see if you agree. Man, growing up, and this might be obvious because of my career choice, but growing up, to me, the broadcaster game was a big part of why I liked football, right? Like I memorized the calls. I was very in tune with who was calling which games, and I kind of listened to what they were saying closely. So I am excited about hearing a 7-time Super Bowl champion in the booth calling NFL games. And if he's going to break down Cowboys games, man, I am in for it. Shout out Greg Olson. I think he's a great analyst for Fox, and I'm kind of conflicted about what these might mean for him moving forward. But I'm still excited about Tom Brady calling games at the NFL level. But enough about that. Again, I'll dive into the comments to see what you make out of that. A couple of reactions from the actual Cowboys game announcement, which is against the Browns, right? Number one thought that popped into my mind was, holy smokes, Dak Prescott is a little bit in danger. Here's why. That is Myles Garrett on the defensive line of the Cleveland Browns, and he's going to be facing Terrence Steele, who was not great as a pass protector last year, and we're still wondering what will he look like in 2024. And if Myles Garrett does not want to face Steele, then he will get the raw version of Tyler Guyton, the week 1 version of Guyton. Man, that is going to be a trial by fire for the Cowboys' first-round draft pick, and it's not going to be a warm welcome into the NFL level. I am a little bit worried about that matchup. And then it's not only that, it's that the Cleveland Browns actually have a pretty darn good lineup all across the board when it comes to the defensive line, right? Remember that they added Zadarius Smith last year, and he was pretty good for the Browns. They've also got Shelby Harris on the interior defensive line. They've got Dalvin Tomlinson. I have yet to really look into their roster, but you know that they've got more and more players in there. So it's a good defensive line, and Dak Prescott and the Cowboys might have to rely heavily on that quick passing game attack because it might be a little bit of a mismatch, especially week 1, right? It's not going to be Guyton in December facing Myles Garrett. It's going to be his first NFL experience. We know how athletic he is. We know all about that. But against a technician like Myles Garrett, that whole handwork part of it is a mismatch, in my opinion, for the Cowboys rookie. And I'm going to say it, maybe like a game-breaking mismatch. We'll see. Obviously, we're a long way away from that game taking place, and we'll break it down when the time gets here. But that's my initial reaction, right? I don't love the idea of the Cowboys facing those dogs on that defensive line of Cleveland. Now, on the flip side, if Guyton goes out there and he handles Myles Garrett, and by handle, I don't mean him dominating the game, but have it be an even match, that is going to be a huge confidence booster for the Cowboys fans, but more importantly, for Guyton and the Cowboys offensive line, right? They're going to be like, oh, snap. We're able to hang on against this defensive line. So huge game in that sense. Another thing that I believe everyone thought about was the Amari Cooper revenge game. It's happening. Amari Cooper traded away by the Cowboys for only a mere 5th-round draft pick that translated into Matt Waletzko later on. First time he's going to be playing the Cowboys since that controversial trade. In my opinion, one of the worst moves the Cowboys have made in years, and really a very inexcusable one because they basically just let their money get mad. They were not happy about the player from a personal standpoint, at least seemingly so, and made that decision purely because of the finances. And they turned around and gave that money to Michael Gallup. Again, very inexplainable, even to this day. this is one of those games, and I don't want to be like too negative or anything like that, but it's one of those games where you really do not want Amari Cooper to go off against the Cowboys because it's going to sting. And you know it is going to sting. But the Cowboys, hey, they've got some good cornerbacks, right? Amari Cooper is going to be facing Trayvon Diggs. He's going to be facing Daron Bland, Jordan Lewis at nickel, at least for now, because Stephon Gilmore has not been signed. We'll see if he returns to Dallas. But that part of it also immediately caught my eye. Cowboys versus Browns. Honestly, I'm excited about that being week one. I know we kind of complain about having Cowboys versus Giants take place in week one. It would have been boring in 2024. I do think the NFL kind of needed something that really got Cowboys fans into it. And what better to be like, hey, we're going to face you with one of the top teams in the AFC, one of the top defenses, and we're going to have Tom Brady calling the game. You know that is going to get people hyped for the Cowboys week one, and a lot of people will be tuning in. And suddenly, America's team will be back on the stage, and everyone will be excited about the Cowboys again after a underwhelming playoff loss. Now, I'm not saying this changes anything at all. In the contrary, I think that this is the NFL being smart about things and trying to get the Cowboys in a position where they can spark some hope into the Cowboys fans. And we'll see how it all plays out when we get there. My final takeaway from this is how excited can I get for a week one announcement? And we are 4 months away from September. Damn it. All right. I guess in the meantime, we'll keep talking some Cowboys football around here. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button for me if you enjoyed the show. And I'll see you again tomorrow night. Hit the like button. Bye-bye.